welcome to Superhero Soapbox, or as I like to call it, the official Mortal Kombat YouTube channel, because that's what it is at this point. I'm Jacob.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Noah.
Today we're going to talk about the new Mortal Kombat movie, Mortal Kombat 2021, and how we did or didn't enjoy it. I know some people that really hated it. I know some people that enjoyed it. Some people love this movie. So, I thought it was pretty good.
I really enjoyed it.
I think it was a flawed film. However, I definitely will be buying this one on Blu-ray. There were some highs that made me excited for the future of the franchise.
You'll be buying this one on Criterion?
Yes, once it gets its inevitable release in the Criterion collection.
My favorite parts were kind of the beginning and the end, not so much the majority of the movie.
I agree with the beginning, and I agree with probably the first half. The end, for me, is where it kind of lost me. And not the fight scene. The fight scene at the end was great. Also, I guess if the title didn't give you a warning, this is going to contain spoilers. Just a heads up, everybody. But, yeah, so the final fight scene was great. However, my main issue, now that I've sat on the movie for a good day at this point. I kind of noticed when I'm thinking back on it, it was passable. My main problem is the ending fight scenes were kind of montaged together, and like the second/third act were sped up way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to pull up our Mortal Kombat film, link in description, but honestly, the entire third act was literally just the entirety of our film, but like on a much better budget.
I mean, at least ours had better pacing.
The
Basically,
dialogue,
anything you could criticize about our film, you can criticize about this film.
That's true.
I would at least say this had better character design. That's about.
Oh yeah. Except for Cole Young. Cole Young was donkey dog.
They gave him literal plot armor.
They gave him a golden T-shirt.
But yeah,
He looked like Aquaman in the entire second half of the movie.
He did.
I think what we could do is we could all start out, give it a numerical rating out of 10, and then we can maybe just run through the plot, and just discuss points in order instead of just going all over,
Well, I'll start first, and I give this movie 8.5 soul sucks out of 10.
I think it was only worth 7 soul sucks. I didn't feel it the way that Liu Kang did.
I would give this a 7 Kano sack sucks out of 10. Yeah, I think we could start with the beginning of the movie because honestly, that was. I think the opening scene was probably the best scene in the film, and
Easily the best action we got. Yeah,
it pumped me up. I think everything that included Bihan and Hanzo in this movie was fantastic.
it's really what this movie should have been.
Yeah, I mean, bias aside, I know they're obviously the most popular characters, but in actuality, they were just done the best.
I think my problem with Sub-Zero, a lot of people really liked how Sub-Zero worked, but my problem with him was actually his lack of dialogue. I think that actually went against him because the high points in this film, in my opinion, was how cheesy the dialogue was. Because that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a movie with cheesy dialogue and stupid fight scenes, and that's what I got, and that's why I'm giving it the rating I'm giving it. Which is why it angers me that Sub-Zero didn't get that much dialogue.
Well, I think to counter that point, personally, would be it would ruin, like, for instance, Kano. He dropped a ton of funny lines, and he was basically playing off of people like Liu Kang and Sonya a lot. I feel like it would be less charming if we'd gotten the same thing out of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And I feel like it didn't fit much, because this Sub-Zero is definitely super menacing and,
Yeah, he had more of like an emotional weight to him because of what he did to Scorpion's family. Also, one of the reasons that they didn't have Johnny Cage in the movie was because he's basically kind of the same character as Kano would have been in the movie. I think it works better as a movie the way they did it, but as like an adaptation of a schlocky franchise like Mortal Kombat, not so much.
Jax and Kano were interesting because they were both like funny characters, but actually I think the other characters were more schlocky. So I didn't want Sub-Zero to be like a Jax or like a Kano, where their entire sense of humor is just let me be as edgy as possible and just say some stupid stuff and it'll end up being funny. But for example, when Cool Young said like that was my family, I'd die for my family, like I legitimately started laughing. Like I don't think I was supposed to, but I was, because I thought it was funny.
I guess another line near the beginning, shortly after the Sub-Zero and Scorpion scene, that had me cracking up, that probably shouldn't have. It was in the trailers, but it still made me laugh in the theater. When Jax and Cole Young meet, and the dialogue goes as follows. It's a birthmark. Jax asks, "What's that?" To which they reply, "It means he was born with it." I really want to know, like, how the writers, like, how they got hired and paid to make that.
Honestly, 90% of the movie, and like the best parts of the movie, is 100% of the trailer. Like, literally, if you watch the trailer, you're already saying the best parts of the movie.
They show every fatality at the end, and there was really only one good one.
They blew their entire budget on fatalities. Like, the fight scenes were so quick, and the fight scenes weren't gruesome at all, because everything gruesome was just the fatalities.
Well, I mean, it didn't even feel like there was weight to the fight scene. I mean, outside of the ending fight scene, in the beginning with Scorpion going nuts, all the fight scenes in the middle were just kind of tossed in, and like, I think that's my problem. The montage fight scenes, they were all about 5 seconds. There was no real stakes or weight.
The little music video fight scenes is what they were like.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, let's fight 2 seconds, then fatality. I think the most, like, the ballsy ones to me were, one, Goro should have never been a jobber to Cool Young. That was just a mistake to begin with. But two, Molina, dude, she literally performed maybe 2 hits, and Sonya comes in and one-shots her. There wasn't even a fight to be had.
You mentioned Molina, which I believe was the chick with the messed up teeth. I forget their names, but that, I mean, honestly, one of the high points of this movie was the CGI on her teeth.
Her teeth were probably one of the only things that were practical, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I doubt it. There didn't seem to be much practical effects other than maybe the set design.
Well, that's why I'm going to assume that it was practical, is because it was one of the few things that looked good in this movie. I'm not going to lie. I think 2 of the most embarrassing moments of CG in this film, I guess number 1, Raiden's eyes. Like, that was some Microsoft Paint level stuff.
There's a reason Raiden wasn't shown in the trailers. Let's put it that way.
No, number 2, Goro. Goro looked like they screen recorded some footage of Mortal Kombat 10. And they just like put that in the movie.
Yo,
I mean, the 1995 Goro looked just as fine.
I'm pretty sure they literally ripped the model from Mortal Kombat 10 or 11 and just threw it in.
It was very hard to get into the movie, and so if you were expecting anything serious from this film, I hope you would have given up on that dream the moment you've seen Raiden. Yeah,
but hey, the first 7 minutes, I saw those and I was like, oh dang, I don't know if I'm gonna be getting that schlocky film that I wanted. I was like, this is actually kind of like looking like actual good. And then right after that shows Cool Young and Jax, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is Mortal Kombat, all right.
Because for a second, honestly, up until Jax came in, I kind of forgot it was a Mortal Kombat movie. And then he came in, and then that's when I remembered, like, oh yeah, these are the same characters from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. One
scene that I guess, for a movie that I'm giving a 7 out of 10, I have quite a few flaws to point out. It's just the highs that were in the movie were pretty high for me. But let's talk about like the reptile fight scene. The
reptile did not look like the reptile.
I mean, they chose the worst form of reptile from the games that nobody cares about to put.
We gotta talk about the bug lady too. The bug lady that wasn't even a bug. She was like a harpy.
With a lot of the things that happened in this movie, and the actor for Cool Young signing on for 3 more movies, I am kind of excited to see where it goes, but I'm going to go in with the same expectations. Stupid story, brainless fight scenes, which is exactly what I wanted.
Do you think Kano is going to come back?
I hope not.
I think he has to. I've thought about it. I've rewatched his death, and all he had, I mean, it was literally a gnome through the eye. There's no way they don't play off that and give him the metal eye.
Yeah,
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah. While I think that's inevitable, I wish that they wouldn't, because I feel like Kano overstayed his welcome, even to the point where it felt like they ADR'd some jokes into the movie. They just like added them in post. It was really weird.
Yeah. Now, transferring the whole like birthmark thing, I don't know how they'd work around that story wise, and also bring him back.
He'll probably escape the one place Scorpion was in.
So the thing about the birthmarks, those are not. Basically, the Elder Gods choose who gets them. The only one who had it from birth was Cole Young through bloodline, but generally, they earned them. So Sonya earned hers by beating Kano. But I'm sure if they bring Kano back,
well, we all know how Cole Young's father got it by killing somebody.
Wait, hold on. There's a flaw. There's a plot hole.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. It's a big surprise. Plot hole. But the prophecy stated that a descendant of Scorpion would be the one to save the world by killing them off. But clearly, Scorpion was the one that finished off Sub-Zero.
No, it was very careful wording. It led you to believe that, but what I believe it said,
very loose, vague wording, so they could do whatever they want.
What it said, and this is very technical, but it said the blood of Hanzo Hasashi, because Raiden gave that knife to Cole at the end, and he said this was Hanzo's from when he died, and it had his blood stains on it.
Yeah, his dirty brown poop blood stains, but...
And then suddenly they lit and fired during the fight, and he came back.
There was no fresh blood to be added for that. All the new characters in this movie kind of suck. That one grunt that they get rid of in the first scene he's in, pretty much.
Raiko? Oh my gosh.
That was awful.
All he did was growl at Jax. Until he literally he got clapped.
Yeah, Cole's design is real bad. I think Cole's very generic. I think a lot of the characters are really one-dimensional.
Yeah, that is a pretty major writing flaw with it. Again, most of the flaws, except for the bad CGI, was the writing of it. And honestly, like, one of my biggest flaw in the entire movie was how many times they said fatality, or like finish him, or flawless victory. Like, nobody says that.
No, but that's the schlockiness of it.
But that was so bad. That wasn't even like funny schlock. That was just stupid schlock.
I think the first time it was done by Kano, it was pretty well handled.
I do like the moment where I forget who it was, but like Jax was like, "Is that the?" I think it was Jax. He was like, "Is that the only movie you know?" And then like he jumped at the wrong time, but then
no, that was Kano.
Oh, that was pretty funny. That was a nice ode to classic Mortal Kombat games.
There's a lot of references to the games and to the previous movies in this one. Like the main theme, most notably. Of course, it doesn't come until the very end, but I think that's what makes it really well used. Like, it's hyped up, and it's used at the climax.
Yeah.
It wasn't just used throughout the whole film. They didn't just...
Yeah, they didn't abuse that track, and I'm very glad about that.
They kind of just went with generic techno. But it gets a pass from me because I haven't really seen techno in a movie in a long time.
It was like cinematic techno. It was weird, but I dig it.
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
I think Kung Lao was actually done really well. He definitely had the best fatality in the whole movie. His character brought some intrigue. I'm actually disappointed that he was killed off, because he's one of the characters I don't expect to come back. And he was probably my favorite of everyone from Earthrealm in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know why Sonya Blade is still an important character in the franchise, because I've never met a single person when talking about Mortal Kombat who says they enjoy Sonya Blade as a character.
I know they talk about her hot daughter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like Sonya herself is like such a generic character. It's atrocious.
Honestly, with like all of the, you've only really said bad things about the movie. And you know what? You guys might be thinking, Nathan, why'd you give it 8.5 soul sucks out of 10? It's literally because these bad things are exactly what I wanted. I mean, I wanted it to be bad. I wanted it to be bad and funny, and that's exactly what it was. But like, it wasn't a terrible movie.
I think some of the pros I had with the movie, for one, the movie was self-aware of the schlockiness, and it used that to its advantage. But it made it fun. It wasn't just stupid to be stupid. They were pretty charming with it. But two, this sounds kind of ironic. The story was actually one of the reasons I liked it, because as simple as it was and as outlandish as it was actually followable. It was a coherent story, which is something we never gotten in a Mortal Kombat film before.
That's true.
Mean, especially Annihilation. I literally don't know what's going on.
Now,
I have no idea what is going on.
I will say this. I do think this is my favorite video game movie of all time.
I mean, that's a low bar, but
it is. But I think it is. I think it's my favorite.
And I think a lot of the characters, they have potential. Like, I think they could do something with this. Learn from some of the criticisms from this film, and the next movie could actually be really good if they grow with some areas and the budget grows.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've obviously set up for Johnny Cage to come in, which he could be a great character if casted well. We're obviously going to get Noob Saibot, which is great. I'm
excited for that.
Sub-Zero was so good in this movie, so I'm pumped to see what they do with Noob.
Yeah.
We'll actually have a tournament.
Speaking of Sub-Zero, you guys got some pretty hip costumes at the premiere.
That's
true.
Definitely
overlay those on the screen.
Yeah, I'm showing those right now. You don't even got to tell me.
But yeah, I think, honestly, if this tournament is fun, but the fight scenes are drug out, I think it could be something special next movie.
Because, I mean, they really did kind of get sidetracked from that. Because, like, when they were talking about the whole Mortal Kombat, like, tournament, as in, like, the one joke happened that's, like, you made that last part up, right? They didn't even spell it right. Like, that was really funny, but at the same time, they never really mentioned that tournament throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, the point was, the plot of the movie was Shang Tsung was worried. They're one win away in the tournament from being able to overtake Earth. But, cheating scumbags as they are, they know the prophecy foretells that Hanzo Hisashi's blood could win.
The people from the outer world, just for clarification.
Yeah, the outer world, my bad. And so the outer world decides, how about before the tournament begins, we just go out and kill all of the Earth realm and take care of this now so the prophecy can't come true. Well, turns out the whole outer world gets their butts handed to them throughout this movie. And now Shang Tsung needs to make a whole new army for the next film and prep for the tournament, which, honestly, the only thing I'm not looking forward to with the next movie is if that prophecy's true, then Cole Young has to win the tournament, which I really don't want.
I thought the whole deal was Raiden ended up making it a tournament at the end.
Well, no, because didn't he send out? He said he was going to go grab some new champions. Yeah.
No. But the prophecy was fulfilled by because he made the end a tournament. Do you get what I'm saying? The final conflict that ended up being a tournament because Raiden teleported both the good guys and the bad guys to the same arena.
The fact that we actually have to discuss what happened in this story, like, this is a Christopher Nolan film with how open to interpretation it is.
Yeah, the scene where Cole looked back at his family and could feel the compelling emotions that he felt as he brutally disemboweled Goro before them.
That was probably the most disappointing fight in the movie.
I will say this, though. Now that we're making predictions about what's going to happen in the next movie, this movie was probably the most predictable movie I have ever seen. Literally.
I mean, it was definitely up there. I think I guessed every single death. Well, all the ones of the characters we knew, except Kung Lao. I mean, I spoke to Colin before going in. I said, Sub-Zero is going to die, Cabal is going to die, Goro is going to die, Molina is going to die. I was like, those are my 4 predictions. I would have said Raiko and Nitara. I just didn't even know they were in the film.
I kind of disagree on the predictability part. But maybe it's just because my brain was set up to like Marvel mode or whatever, even though I hate those movies. The only thing that caught me off guard was Kano actually going to the bad guy's side. Like that was the one thing that they did that wasn't totally predictable. Because I thought, oh, maybe there's some depth to his character. Maybe he's kind of good deep down, but no, he's just an awful human being.
Well, that would have been Marvel mode, but what?
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as Sonya and Kano were arguing, I knew that something was going to happen, and then that scene happened, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, but I would have expected him, like, maybe they're going to be, okay, this is his redemption, where he's going to be like, man, I feel bad now, and then go back to the champions or something.
Yeah.
Either that, or I thought that the bad guys were just going to kill Kano.
So I guess the good characters in this film, we would, I mean, you all can tell me if you disagree, but for me, the standouts were Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Kung Lao, and honestly, I actually liked Cabal. I know he didn't really do a whole lot, but I found him to be
he was pretty
enjoyable.
He was pretty crazy. I loved his costume, dude.
He was pretty fun in the movie, but Kano I enjoyed, but he's definitely a familiar trope from all kinds of different movies. It wasn't anything new. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't fresh by any means. Don't care about Sonya. Don't care about Cool. Liu Kang was meh. Molina was meh. Shang Tsung was kind of generic. Raiden was generic, and I couldn't understand half what he said. Scorpion was alright. I just wish we had more of him. I mean, he was good when he was in. He just wasn't in much.
Yeah.
And Raiko, I literally don't think he said anything other than just random grunts at Jax during a fight.
I hated his character because of how over the top his facial expressions were. Like, it literally reminded me of the Three Stooges. It was actually kind of upsetting.
I mean, the actor was just a glorified stunt double that they just threw on screen.
Should have been Johnny Cage.
It should have been.
That was the case.
Well, I guess we'll figure that out in the next movie about whether or not Johnny Cage has the same fate. So, let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of the movie and what you guys expect in the next movie. Or if you hate the movie, let us know that too. I don't care.
Let us know how you plan to get your money and time back.
Oh, I'm going a second time personally, but
really?
Oh no,
two wrongs don't make a right.
No, I have HBO Max. I'll just watch it at home a second time.
I might watch it.
Two wrongs do not make a right. But yeah, I would recommend this movie to anyone that likes dumb stuff. Nathan, would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, buddy.
If you like superhero soapbox content, you'll get a kick out of this film. I'll say that.
That's very true.
All right, like, comment, subscribe, everybody. Goodbye.
Yes, sir.